Let me tell you a little story about an improviser, a young improviser who once knew nothing about what they could do. As a matter of fact, they were terrified to live, to breathe, to perform. But something remarkable happened gradually. With each step forward, they gained confidence. They gained improvisational know-how. They gained entertainment value. They became better with their teammates. They told better stories until by the end of the year, we went, gosh, this student is so improved. Like they'll do anything. They did that so fast. Wow. They're like whole people. That's the story of what we're talking about today. The Most Improved Player Award or Improviser Award or whatever have you in high school jesters is one of the most prestigious awards we have to offer, of which we only have 5. So, tough competition. Let's talk about our nominees for the Most Improved Improviser Award of our 13th year of high school jesters here in the 2021-2022 season, but I certainly can't do it alone. To meet all of our improvisers who are nominated for this prestigious award, let's bring in a Kopy. Yes. Story time is concluded. You shake your head in disappointment so easily. What have I done to offend you this time?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, perfect. Then you've just denied me in our scene and I'm supposed to spin my wheels.
I haven't
Well,
improved enough.
I should have
Ah.
justified it. Good point. Gosh, Kopy, I'll never be good. Hey, there was this one time, speaking of stories, where in a completely different universe of jesters, Kopy thought I was improved, and it felt so cool. He gave me a plaque and everything, and I gave a speech to an audience. I had to be like 22 or whatever. I don't even remember per se, but I remember the feeling that it gave me, and it's still one of my favorite memories in my development as a young adult to this day. And that's just me being genuine. So hopefully, you kids who are about to get your names thrown out there for this amazing award feel the same feeling. It's recognition that with the hard work, the dedication, the open mindedness, the open heartedness, and the creativity that you possess, you're being nominated for this opportunity to be seen as one of those students who has made the biggest leap in their own performance quality in the shortest amount of time. For some of you, it took the whole season. For some of you, we recognized it in the blink of an eye. And there's going to be a whole plethora of stories from this group of 6 nominees, plus the honorable mentions. One of our favorite stories, Kopy. Talk to us about what this award means to you.
I've always equated the Most Improved Performer award on the same level with our MVP award. It's easy to look at the MVP and go, oh, that just must mean that you have to be the best to be in that. I think that this category has the same value simply because the journey that you're on is almost exactly the same as an MVP's. Being able to make that leap and be humble enough to recognize where you are, where you're going, how you got there, and just having that understanding and that appreciation. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So Warren's right. The way that this is measured is the biggest growth in the shortest amount of time. And when you have hundreds of students to try and figure out that scale, this is
Yeah,
hard. This is a
totally unenviable.
hard category to get into.
Yeah.
And this is hard to pick. Now that this is announced, we're gonna have to figure out which one of you, wins, and that's even harder. So yeah, we've got a couple of cool stories to tell right now. This is always such a feel good award to be a part of. Warren, I remember yours. I remember every one of these. These always get me. So yeah, I'm excited to lay this out.
Oh, Kopy, I didn't know you remembered anything about me. That's so nice. UNLV Improv, folks, it's a thing. Seek it out after you graduate. Just saying. One of my favorite chapters of my life. So let's do this. Uh, Kopy, it's so hard to narrow these down. We know every year we kind of bicker about it between each other here or there if we have people in mind, and the list gets shorter and shorter and shorter, but we don't want to leave them all out of our discussion. There's got to be a few who stick in your mind as almost theirs but won't make the final cut.
Yeah, for one reason or another. And I think these three, it's a good. I always try and give a couple of honorable mentions and why. So let me start and of course share screen because technology is a thing.
Yay. It
Yay,
makes
tech.
it easier for you guys to digest what we're thinking. And fun. So excited. I probably won't know everybody. So, Kopy, you get to lead me through your thinking more times than not. This young lady representing Cheyenne High School gets our first honorable mention. Introduce us and as to why they stick out in your mind here.
And I'm gonna struggle with a couple of names in this category. This is Kelly Dudwat. Oh, Kelly's gonna beat me up for that.
Kelly
So
did what?
that's Kelly's last name.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kelly. We'll just move on. Okay.
So Kelly, in my mind, since I met Kelly, was so capable of just about anything and everything. Um, and we didn't get to see Kelly for online improv last year. I asked where Kelly was, and Kelly's first year, the year before that, I wanted to see more Kelly in shows. I was asking about Kelly then. This year, just such a breath of fresh air to get Kelly back. And when Kelly's not on stage, I'm looking because I'm fearful we're going to lose Kelly again, simply because of the value that I knew you had. And you've kind of brought it pretty full force this year. So it was really hard to get to this category. Here's the thing. You were always good. You have always had this in you. So if I'm measuring the biggest growth shortest amount of time and you already had it, it was hard to make you crack the top six. But just with how strong and brilliant you've been this year, I had to put you in this honorable mention category because I know what you can do. And you've been doing it. You're a big reason why the Cheyenne crew is pretty strong this year.
Very cool. Congratulations, Kelly, on the nod. And it sounds like you've left a mark on the memories of Kopy because of what you could potentially become. And now that you have grasped a lot of that, it's wonderful that we can find a way to celebrate you a little bit extra. So thank you for what you've done for Cheyenne. And I'll see you pretty soon against El Sol. Yep, yep, yep.
Right.
Who's our second honorable mention, Kopy?
We are going to go over to SECTA.
Nice.
And we're going to talk about Catherine Whitaker.
Very cool. Hello, Catherine.
Catherine, at the beginning of the year, definitely had the shy cloud. I don't know if Catherine feels that way or knows that way because this Catherine, who just played in their playoff show this past weekend, did not have that shy cloud and
Nice.
almost kind of had almost a little bit of a swagger to how she was doing things.
Let's go.
So biggest growth, the shortest amount of time is kind of our measuring stick. And I believe that the six that are in the category, their shortest amount of time is slightly shorter than yours. And that's maybe the only exception here. But if I didn't completely know and see it all year long, every single show, I watched you just get better and better and better.
Nice.
I would be completely remiss if I didn't at least give you some kind of praise here today.
My favorite thing, and I'm catching Alex from Legacy Vibes, by the way. My favorite thing is when a student gets that swagger, like when they suddenly realize that it's not a fluke, that their creativity does work, and here's how, and then it becomes purposeful, and then it gets comfortable, and then you're just off to the races. So anytime we get to watch that story unfold throughout a season, it's easy to celebrate. And we really wish we had 8 or 9, 10, 12 slots that we could throw kids like you in, because there are a couple of those different stories almost every year, Catherine. But what makes it unique for you is that you're helping a team that could really use somebody like you who's steadily learning. So take no lesson you've developed and absorbed for granted. It sounds like you're going to be a pivotal corning, what the heck? Pivotal cornerstone for Secta as they continue to develop and grow. And we're glad you're here and feeling the swagger. So, um, cool recognition for Catherine there. Our third most improved honorable mention friend needs to comb their hair.
So it goes to the story. I've been talking about Zai all year.
Oh, sure.
This is Zai Serta from Desert Oasis, a
This
fresh.
isn't a top six.
I that's how
Wow.
hard this category was.
Wow, Zai. I was rooting for you, yo.
So okay, so Zai got into this with a group of friends. Zai's a freshman,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe that group of friends were kind of outside of the theater bubble
Mm-hmm.
and maybe weren't taking it all that seriously, but Zai must have liked something about it, and Zai
Mm-hmm.
decided to stay. So Zai in a new world, meeting new people and trying to make friends, and also being insanely shy and scared. I
Mm-hmm.
have never seen Zai's full face. So
Ooh.
this is the closest I've ever seen Zai. Uh,
Wow. What
because
a thing to say.
Zai still wears a mask on stage.
Uh-huh.
So the only pictures we have that has close to Zai's face is this.
Wow.
Um, so when that mask is on, you might not even know it's Zai. That's in there.
That's amazing.
So to the first show where I remember Zai backstage just kind of shooken, and I it was one of those moments where I know sometimes when people are nervous, you kind of get that thought in your head like, well, are they really going to go out there?
Mm-hmm.
To Zai's last show where Zai ran out there and
Yeah.
contributed and did work for their team, to a really funny story that happened between Zai and Coach Corey. Just that evolution was pretty darn cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah, Zai, I one day maybe I'll see your face so I know who you are,
Oh man, that's
but
cool.
it kind of goes to your story. So Zai, thank you.
I'm catching some Victor vibes from my own past, but more importantly, I want to throw this out there for Zai that I'm also catching Sia vibes. Sia is not a
Hey,
jester. That's just a cultural choice that a specific, well-known Grammy award-winning, musical artist chose. Is that no one's going to see my face. I don't want to be judged by it. I don't want it to be part of my aura or my brand. And I also want to be able to go get the newspaper outside without people, taking a million photos of me. Clever move, an intelligent move, a shrewd move. You don't have to make it about your confidence or anything. You can make it a personality choice, a character choice, and I challenge you to do so because you've already made such a mark from all the conversations I've shared with Kopy. I know that you've made such a mark in our league that you have a real chance, Si, to do some cool, different things from anybody we've ever had in the league with the way you carry yourself and the way you choose to handle your visage. And if we ever get to see it. So, yeah, man, this is cool stuff. A third honorable mention, shocked that Si's not in the top six just because of how much we've talked
it
about it.
was so hard to not put all three of them in it. It was so
Oh,
hard.
boy. So what's going to happen now, kiddos, is we're going to learn the 6 nominees of the Most Improved Improver Award. And this is truly probably, I mean, I could just looking at Kopy, I could tell he's super excited about this. He's proud of all you kids. We're proud of everybody we've talked about already. But let's meet them. Why are we just looking at each other still? I've looked at so much of you. I want to know our nominees for the Most Improved Improver Award 2021-2022. Here we go. And here they are. Bam. First thing I want to say right off the bat is congrats to West Tech throwing 2 kids up onto this list. Not an easy thing to do, but a big testament to how well that camp has grown and evolved over the year. Um, Second thing that I see is a Clark student. Yes, that's super cool, Blanca. Welcome aboard. Third thing I see is a Desert Pine student in Haley Silva who has quietly excited me every time I've seen them do anything this year. So wonderful to know that we have a way to highlight a Desert Pine student this year. Basic definitely deserves to have some new blood be highlighted. Joseph is coming and learning from the greatest fountain you can ask for in Evan Hardy. And boy, if that didn't have a hand in you improving to this point, then I'm going to hear all about it any second. And for LVA, Kapua, wonderful. The chemistry for this group has been well documented. Constantly, it's the button word for your team. You've got to be at the forefront of that to be making this list. So congrats, Kapua, for finding yourself with your team's ability to find themselves as the year has gone on too. You very much fit the culture of the school. Kopy, run down the line, I guess. I've given my gut reactions.
Yeah. So on championship day, all six of you will stand in front of everybody, and I'll say a lot of things that I might say some of them today. Um, it's just mainly your journey and your story. So the greatest growth in the shortest amount of time.
Mhm.
Bram, I didn't. Bram from LBA.
Oh, now I get it. Bram. Oh, sorry I called you Kapua. I'll be
well,
quiet now.
that's Bram's name, Kapua. So, but it goes by Bram. So I missed the introduction to Bram initially. I was introduced to Bram through Remind, through messaging.
Oh,
So I didn't get that first initial hi, how are you, so on, meet and greet. So my first real interaction with Bram was more when the shows were starting, and LVA got a real late start this year too. They
mm-hmm.
started way later than most schools, so it was pretty late in the game that I met Bram. So shortest amount of time really applies here, because I think in the first show we had some general excitement, but man, we had some fear, and I think it was true of the first show that everyone has, to where it's, ooh, the lights, the fun, the sound. Oh, and now it's on me. Now I need to respond to you. Now I need to be in this moment with you. And when you got a guy like Elliot,
Right.
when you got Paige next to you, who's got some power,
Oh yeah.
and some of the teammates you have, I get it. That can have some nerves. That can be nerve wracking. Um, so as you developed and you turned into this, which is the visual I have in my head of you, and I wish I could have used that picture for this graphic. um, that's such a huge testament to how strong you are, how strong your team is. You deserve to be in this category, and to stand here and be now remembered in our league history as someone who did some awesome work. Bram, thank you.
Aw, that's heartwarming as heck.
Yeah.
Good for you. I'm sorry I haven't met you on a more formal basis, Bram, but I've heard so much about how you've been so pivotal to this great group of kids over at LVA who, it's always fun watching great teams build up, kind of like some of the other teams I'm looking at as I look at this page. I said it already, you've been a big part of the chemistry that we've come to celebrate. And we love watching great teams gel together. And we love watching students conquer fear more than all. Definitely the biggest symptom of a most improved player is turning away from fear and letting yourself recognize it's there and do it anyway. So thank you for being one of those students who are the poster children of that mentality. The next person on your list, though, Kopy, I know you've talked about a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. You've had high faith in Ashley for about a year. So knowing Ashley made this list has to say that they've truly A, vanquished the fear you suggested is on their face when the lights aren't on them, but also B, truly exploded beyond what you've expected they were already capable of. Talk to us about Ashley Byers.
Uh, I'm not sure where to begin, uh,
Holy cow. Come on, dude. Really?
when talking about Ashley.
It's not the
Um,
23rd of April yet.
yeah. So I I have seen Ashley in full like breakdown mode, and tears and fear and
Mm,
anxiety, and I have seen Ashley completely dominate and take over shows.
mhm,
And where my vision for someone is doesn't always equate to the journey that's taken. So when I see what I think is inside of someone, and I give that advice, sometimes people just don't care, don't take it,
mm,
and I think there's a part of Ashley that wants to fight my belief in her so bad,
mm,
and wants to run uh, from how strong I think they are.
mm,
And to see you up there in that thousandth show next to your coach Song, who's a
mm,
monster, next to Corey, who's got so much power, and Sam Elton and Greeny, and to close out that Survivor, and to flip around and take that breath and then flip back around and just do what you're so good at, and to be that juggernaut that I endowed you with. Um, it's pretty cool. It's pretty stinking cool. It's a feel good moment for me, and it's a feel good moment for this league. This league needs to celebrate you, um, and you deserve to be in this category.
oh man, Kopi, every time you cry, an angel gets its wings. So,
Ugh.
it's really, really special when we get to know the connections you develop helping these students find new layers of themselves. And I know you've worked closely with Ashley as part of, the some of the project teams that you work with, and it's nice to know that um, there's been such an incredible polarizing um, evolution to this student. This amazing reality where you can be so certain of their terror, yet know how ardently they're pushing through it for you to feel that, for you to believe in it, for you to know that it's there and it's not like a drama thing or it's, I'm just gonna play it up because whatever, I'm afraid, whatever. Like it's bad. Like I'm really glad that there's a genuine and true reality to how much this student might want to pull away from how great we perceive them to be, only to go and then do it and maybe even exceed expectations as they do it. So yeah, Kobe cried, guys. That's part of this.
I
So
I I did good on Bram, man. Yeah. All right, I'll try and get through this.
I'm sure you'll be okay. Don't worry. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
tears mean love for Kobe. So we're glad you care so much about this league. We know you do, of course, but it's always wonderful to be the first person to watch you cry over something or someone. So cry over Joseph Wilson real quick for me.
uh, okay. Joseph should be a 4-year player.
Mhm.
Lost Joseph to online prov.
Mhm.
Joseph was a very strong-headed performer before this year, to where
Yeah.
it just kept in his lane, and kind of almost even kept to himself, just kind of almost this oddball oddity
Mhm.
in a way. And this year, holy crap, um, what you've been able to do, how funny you have been,
Mm.
how strong you have been. You have hit so many funny bones. Uh,
Nice.
you've leaned into that lane, or whatever lane you're in, man. Like, you are in that lane so heavy and so hard. Um, you have made Evan speechless. Evan, your teammate, who just Evan's been a beast in this
Yeah.
league.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to see someone who we lost for a year ish to COVID, and to see what you've been able to do this year. Holy heck, man. If you aren't a piece of the strength of what Basic is this year, biggest journey in the shortest amount of time. I don't even remember the last time I saw you before this year. So welcome back by storm. You deserve to be in this category.
Yeah, this was one of the comeback conversations I remember us having at the beginning of the year. And I think I have seen Joseph do improv in the past. And I think I kind of exactly remember the kind of approach Joseph must have had, very much thinking inside of a specific box. And then Pandemic Prov, had we had you, you might have been in that box very literally. And now that you're back, you're realizing the true meaning and value of being able to think outside the box and go to all these different perspective and places to find your humor. And boy, I get it. I get it where like we call it a one trick pony where somebody gets that they can do this really funny and they just do it and they do it and they do it and they do it and it's just like, yeah, gosh, I chuckle every time, but it would be so cool if you tried something else. And then it's not very common where we see a student try so many other new things and embrace so many other different strategies to making a chuckle happen. So that's why you are incredibly unique and to be celebrated most assuredly. We're so glad that you chose to explore yourself a little bit more and find some new ways to create entertainment value. Congrats, Joseph. Blanca Hernandez is at the pit of a Clark team that's grown and grown and grown, but has been here a while, right? Blanca's been around.
This is Blanca's fourth year.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So to improve after 4 years must mean that potential has had its head ripped open, and for Kopy to be like, wow, there's a whole glass ceiling to break through in here. So Blanca, congratulations for being here before I even hear why. 4 years is a long time for Kopy to notice you've improved so much, but it's real. A 4 year student on this list means you've truly found a fire and a magnetism that you didn't know and nobody quite thought you might have in you. So Kopy, how did that go for you with Blanca Hernandez?
Blanca was somewhat of a light switch this year.
Right.
And not necessarily knowing where Blanca's investment was before, coming in as a freshman or sophomore, junior, not necessarily knowing, why. Maybe Blanca joined this because Blanca had a friend here. Who knows?
Right.
But I clearly know what Blanca wants and feels and thinks and is getting out of this year. Um, we have to do this well, we have to embrace our natural self, our natural character.
Hmm.
And Blanca is a open book this year. And uh, we've talked about Clark so much, and it's hard to talk about what Clark's been doing without
Hmm.
talking about this conviction that Blanca now has, this
Hmm.
investment in everything that she's doing. It's contagious.
Yay.
It's contagious.
Yep.
So if someone's contagious with with investment and passion, then you deserve to be on this list.
Blanca, your story reminds me of mine. It's that simple. I loved improv when I first got into it so much. It's like I found out make believe exists as a thing for entertaining people, and I was like, let's go. And I dove in super hard. And I was kind of like I was definitely a Sam Umholtz, Greg Holt, Josh from Cimarron 4 years ago kind of guy who would wreck things with my energy and just be disruptive and selfish and not from like doing it on purpose, just not knowing what I can do and not knowing how to do it and not knowing why to do it, not knowing what the purpose could be. But through hard work, dedication, passion, wanting to just do it, I got maybe 20% better. Kopy will be nice enough to say more, but I
Yeah.
like your story because it reminds me of mine. When I fell in love with this, I fell in love with it as hard as anything, and I'm really glad you fell in love with it because you helped Team Love fall in love with it. You helped your coach fall in love with it on a whole new level. You've told a beautiful story with the way you've come up. And I'm not just saying that because I think I'm beautiful or something weird like that. I'm just saying that because you've made everybody better over there at Clark. and your passion has made the league better. You made yourself better. Cool stuff, man. Great story. I like that one. That's cool. I might cry a little bit. But I actually really like this one too, because boy howdy, I've interacted with Haley just a tiny bit at Desert Pines, but I see strength and smarts and poise. So at one point, you must have not seen those things. Tell me why Haley's on this list.
Maybe not those exact things, but Haley for me, and especially first meeting Haley, I think this was more of a fun thing to do than it was something that she was a master of.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and now I think the version of Haley I'm watching now honestly reminds me of myself in my initial days of I always wanted to be anything that I needed to be in the moment.
Yeah.
And that was a conscious choice young me made of, if I need to be the guy right now, I try and be the guy. If I just need to get us from point A to B, I'll get us from point A to B. Do I need to take over a moment and say this is my house, time to clean or whatever? Then I'll take over that moment, or I'll just give you a little dab of pleasantries. I'll throw out little chocolates here and
The
there.
sprinkle of salt.
Haley found a way to be powerful on a powerful group with a powerful group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
True.
and I don't think Haley has any idea. I think Haley's just no, this has been me this whole time. Haley, holy cow! If you don't add insane value,
Mm-hmm.
um, your 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 property value has gone up immensely with what you do this year, and you're a big reason why you're moving on to this next round. So not many students kind of push me away and take things over like you did in your game of 6 things this year.
Oh wow.
Bravo. I just you've blown me away with how strong you've been. So yeah, Haley, you deserve to be here.
Super cool. I mean, I said it already. I only remember interactions with Haley where I was impressed. So glad you're here. Glad that Desert Pines can get a nod for some award races, just because cool culture, cool school, um, cool growth pattern from them. But you do these very purposeful, intelligent things, and for me, it's that simple to appreciate. And cool. I guess we just have to move on because I got nothing insightful to add to that. Haley, you're cool. Keep coming back. And then here's a face we that's familiar to me all of a sudden, and a name that I just approve of because who doesn't like a magical game of magicals here in our gestures rich history. But Maya Magical of West Tech, you said it yourself when you mentioned how the journey to the All-Star vote this year for Maya is truly just intergalactic and interstellar and couldn't have happened when you think about the Ashley Byers, the Byers twins, I should say, being on that same team with a group that's just gotten stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And man, if I'm not picking West Tech to be the Cinderella, like, I wouldn't say Cinderella, I guess that's Clark, but I would say um West Tech sounds like the team that isn't Riverside that might win, or that isn't Northwest that might win. You know what I mean? They're so good, and Maya's been at the core of it and exploding past it. So say your words.
Yeah, I if the season were, I don't know, another month longer, let's say, or whatever, to put any time you want on that, I wonder if there would be more West Tech students joining this category.
Holy
Um,
cow.
yeah, and we've never had two students from the same school in this category before.
That's a great
Um,
stat in 13 years.
that's an amazing stat, and Maya, uh, being shocked by how you came out of nowhere this year. It's almost sounds like we're saying that you weren't capable of this before, and that is not the case, because this is your third year with us.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've always had an intelligent, logical way about going about your business and going and doing what you do in a scene. But I think now you are applying everything you've ever learned and now putting your personality into it and putting who you are. And I think the reason that we have just been blown away by your performance is because now we're getting to know you, and now we're getting to
Ah,
know what you offer us.
yeah.
And 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 yeah, you're making all the steps. And if you didn't play a perfect forward reverse a couple of shows ago, where you just executed your spots and you knew your cues and you knew how to get through those moments, sure, you're doing your X's and O's perfectly, and then we're just getting to know that, just the pleasantry that you are. When we can introduce that, when you can blow us away like this and get some piece of yourself out there and put your soul out there, that's that's what we want. Very similar to what I was talking about with Blanca.
Mm-hmm.
um Biggest growth, shortest amount of time, from the first show, just blew us away. So Maya, you got to be here. You got to stand here and take this praise with these other five.
Kopy said earlier that improv and getting comfortable with it is the art of bringing your inner character to the forefront, and getting comfortable with that person. And heck, it's a struggle for so many of us who don't think our characters have value. It's so easy for us to hide underneath the reasons why we're not going to let that part of us out. And whether it takes 3 years, 4 years, whatever have you, um, it's so much fun when we kind of watch students give up on trying to resist and stop questioning it. And, just hearing these stories, it's given me my own perspective at age 33, 16 years into my own improv journey, how much we all just crave to put away those anxieties that hold us back and instead let our characters come to the forefront. The lessons go on, but you have given us a great lesson by being whom you are this year, Maya, and helping the team that you're on get to where they've gotten. All six of you kiddos have done that, and we're proud and grateful to know you. We're proud and grateful to watch you play. We're proud and grateful to know that you're part of our league, that we're all this big happy family, no matter how little we connect on a personal, intimate level. Um, and it's just enriching to see this 2021 2022 Most Improved Performer nominee pool and their three honorable mentions. We're glad we're able to give another year of award nominees, especially to a group of kids who've put in the work like you six have. You nine don't we love everybody has in this league. We exclude no one, but we especially highlight you six. So congrats, thank you. A great list, Kopy, of great students, great cultures, some cool firsts, great spread of time frames for your development pool too. Some of these are short times, some of these are long times. We're all just here for a good time, and you kids seem to get that. So thanks for helping us have one. The next time you hear for our voices, it will be for the award for the Rookie of the Year, another one with its own honorable mentions and super excitement. Um, so we'll see you guys for that video here. And you guys have a fantastic rest of your night. Congrats to all the Most Improved Improver Award nominees. Let's go. Oh boy.